Each week, I'm outlining 2 sessions a week for training plans, free training plans, more free resources. I know some clubs are sharing them in WhatsApp groups and whatnot. Thank you so much if you're doing that. This week's juniors and seniors, I've basically made it the same for each this week. And I'm putting myself in your shoes and an imaginary scenario, but I think it's quite close to the mark, or most marks. Most of you will be playing in the next week or 2. So what you need to do is get them practicing playing. So this week will be the best week of your training if you follow this. Pick whichever warm-up you want. Use the warm-ups that we've done so far. Do your dynamic stretches. And then you're going to go 13 versus 13 if you can. Now, if you've got 26, 27, 28 players in your training, that's easy. If you haven't, what I want you to do is... And don't forget, you're responsible for these players. So I have to put that legal thing each time. You're the one responsible. Don't put any players in jeopardy, unsafely or anything like that. Take the right advice. But I would like you to train with another team this week. So go and see another coach and say, can we go opposed against you this week? So let's say there's 2 squads of 18 players. That means you're going to have 13 versus 13 on the field and 10 on the sideline. Between you, you've probably got a third coach. Those 10 on the sideline need to be doing some activities too, and you need to program that so that they don't just do those activities on the sideline. You've got to keep rotating them into your 13s. And one thing you can do with that activity on the sideline is you can focus on an area that's a problem. Because the idea of the 13 versus 13 is you're now going to zoom in on problems. You're going to find the problems. You're going to try and find the problems before you have a trial or a friendly or a competition game. If you can get 3 teams together, the third team on the sidelines, they can do whatever they want to get better the next time they're on the field for 13 versus 13. But anyway, the basic principle of this is one day you as a coach focus on your attack. The next day, so the Tuesday might be the attack, the Thursday is defense. Okay? Of course, when one team is focusing on attack, the other one will have to defend. So let's say on a Tuesday we're attacking. So I'm only doing an hour-long session each week. That's not to say you shouldn't train for longer. I'm just doing that so that it's nice and palatable for those who are listening and watching. 10 minutes to warm up with your dynamics. And then we've got 50 minutes. Okay? Split that 50 into 3. So, what's that? My maths is terrible. My quick maths. 17 or something, right? Something like that. Start with exit and yardage scenarios. Okay? So, what you need to do is, first of all, you can do a couple of kickoffs if you want. And then you do kick returns, because 80-odd% of possession at certain levels of football is from kick return. But the key thing is, when I always talk about bilateral learning, doing equal left and right side, etc. So even with these exit and yardage scenarios, you need to do the same amount on the left that you do in the middle that you do on the right. Okay? So literally the other team will either kick off and then defend you during these exit scenarios, or they will kick on the 5th tackle and chase and then defend you. Okay? And you're working on exit scenarios. So whatever you want to do in exit. All right? For the next 15, 17 minutes, do the other end of the field. So what you want to do in attacking areas, good ball. Some coaches split up and have the midfield. I don't do that. I have exit and good ball, that's it. Same thing, start some from a tap penalty, start some from a dropout, start some from ball being dropped, but make sure you do the equal amount from the left, equal amount from the right, equal amount in the middle. And then for the last period, just play with the opposition. Because they'll get some ball, which will allow you to have a look at your defence for Thursday. And while you've got the ball, that coach will be able to look at his defence for the Thursday. Sorry, while you've got the ball, look at his defence. But when you've not got the ball, he'll be able to look at his attack for Thursday. And then on the Thursday, you just do the opposite. So how do you want to defend in exit yardage when the opposition have got the ball in their exit yardage? My Brisbane Broncos defence will be looking at how they did that against Hull KR in the World Club Challenge. How do you want to defend on your own goal line? Some Super League teams are really struggling on their goal line at the moment. How do you want your team? And that's what you focus on next. You just do the opposite and then play in the last 20. And what that should do with those sessions this week is get you in the mood for playing, and you'll find out any problems. You'll iron out some problems and use the week to do that, and then take notes and make sure you're observing and coaching at the same time. And then that can plan some of your training for next week. Whatever you need to fix, you can start to fix next week again before you play.